What we'll go through real quickly, we'll go through a quick outline of why the change and what is the change. First thing is, we've all attended pre-con meetings, is that correct? How many other than me enjoyed them? What? It's the same. It was the same down in Sioux Falls. I was the only person raising my hand, which is exactly why we want to change. The meetings, as Todd mentioned, and Carrie mentioned, spend too much time on issues not related to the construction project that we're talking about. So why were we having a pre-con meeting where we weren't talking about the project itself? We're talking about DBEs, labor compliance, EEO, TERO, TECRO, those type of issues, which are important, but they don't relate directly to the day-to-day operation that we're going to accomplish the next 3 to 6 months to a year on that highway. So what we want to do is change our focus. And by changing our focus, we want people to come prepared to the pre-con meetings. So if we change our focus and say we're going to talk about the project itself, we want everybody to come to the table prepared to address items of concern, rocks in the road, if you will, issues that need to be dealt with, what you like, what you don't like, so we can have a discussion, a frank discussion at that pre-con meeting to discuss exactly what we want to do, how we want to change it, how can we avoid those rocks, what solutions can we come up with immediately so that we don't delay the contractors. You know, it is our goal to put a quality project together, get you guys in and out as quickly as possible, and maybe you can make $1 or $2. We don't want you making $3 because we want you to come back. But you can make $1 or $2. That'd be okay for us. And as Todd mentioned, the key players weren't always in attendance. We got the owners, we got the estimators were there because they're the guys filling out the paperwork. We would like to get the superintendents, the foremans there, especially for the prime contractor and any major subcontractor. We'd like to get them there as well so they can discuss with us how to put that project together, how to get it done as quickly as possible, with as much quality in that project as we can put into it. So if we get them there, it's going to help us out tremendously. And then the big change we thank Steve Wagner for, is to allow the contractor to lead the pre-con meeting. When I first heard that, I was thinking, I'm giving up way too much power. You know, but the more I thought about it, the more it made sense. Because when I did my first pre-con meeting, I fell flat on my face. I did a lousy job. Some people said I still do a lousy job. So it's your turn. It's your turn to do a lousy job. But we're going to help you today. We're going to help you prepare for that pre-con meeting. We're going to help you how to conduct a pre-con meeting. And it'll be a much better process when we're done. At your tables, you see 5 sets of handouts. So if you haven't handed them out yet, you can do so as we go through this. But one of the handouts is a DOT handout that addresses much of the required documentation that we require prior to the start of the pre-con meeting. The DBE stuff, the EEO stuff. Our policy that we have currently with the DOT is 12 pages long. Of the 12 pages, 10 of the 12 pages deal with this kind of stuff. The stuff that we don't need to talk about, but we still need to have. So what we've done is we've put that policy into a short little document that we're going to give to the contractor to have him look at. Have him look at, sign off on, and complete. The other thing we're doing, we're putting another document together that has all the required submittals together. And we're going to ask that all the submittals on that piece of paper, or several pieces of paper, be given to us prior to start of the construction. Actually, prior to start of the pre-construction meeting. Now there's going to be some things that you can't get to us that fast. We understand that. But we'll have a discussion as to what those items are and when can we expect to see them. So we'll have a date down or a time frame down when we can expect to see them. And then at that date or that time frame, we expect them to be in our hand. If not, we'll ask for them again. Where are you at on this? However, no item of work that has a required document with it will not be allowed to take place until we have that document in our hands and it's approved. The contractor and the DOT will prepare the agenda together. And we've got another spreadsheet, another document on your tables there. It's another DOT document that has an outline. Now, this outline that we're going to ask you to prepare is by no means complete. It will never be complete for any project that we're going to do. We expect you to alter it, to modify it, to change it, to add to it what you want to talk about, and the department will do the same. We'll do the exact same thing. So this is just a shell document to start with that we're going to add stuff to. If we don't add anything to this document prior to the pre-con meeting, we have not done our job. So we need to make sure we add something to this. The key players will attend the meeting. And quite frankly, even you might even see me, which even though I'm not a key player, you might even see me attend pre-con meetings again. For years, because Les has been doing nothing but spouting off about labor compliance and EEO and all the other stuff, I quit attending meetings because I've heard that. I'm tired of hearing that. And there's no value to that meeting, so I didn't attend, and I just got the notes, the minutes at the end, so I knew what was discussed. That's all I did. It's not a good way of operating. So I'm going to change. I'm going to start attending these meetings as well. But we want the contractors, superintendent, foremen to attend as well, so we can have a discussion with them. We can establish a relationship, which is very important on a project. Our project engineer will be there. If possible, we like to have our technicians there, or at least our main technician there. We would like to have the contractor, superintendent, and foreman there, and the major subcontractor, superintendent, or foreman there as well, so they can build on that relationship prior to arguing on the construction project. It's a lot easier. It's a lot easier to reach an agreement when you have some kind of working relationship with that guy prior to working with them on a project. So if we get those together, that's a great benefit, not only for us, but for you as well. Again, the contractor will conduct the meeting. And the main point is the meeting will focus on construction of that project, that specific project for that specific time period. So we will describe the process. On your table is a flow chart. And we'll start down here in the corner. You can see the two oval shapes. That's the begin and the end. A1 is the beginning. So, and as you notice, you see horizontal lines going down there, and those are what Steve Widener refers to as swim lanes. So we got the DOT central office swim lane, we got the area office swim lane, we got the contractor swim lane. Down your swim lane is your responsibility. So that's, if it's in your swim lane, that's what you need to be working on. So at box A1, the central office will issue the notice to proceed. So when that happens, something is triggered from that. So as you go up to A2, prior to scheduling the pre-con meeting, the contractor needs to start preparing his required list of submittals. What will happen is when we get that notice to proceed, and we get it as well, the area office gets it as well, we'll send to the contractor a list of the submittals. Also, we'll send them one of these the DOT 270, the authorization form for pre-construction meeting. You'll get that pack in the mail. What we're asking you to do at that time is to fill those things out. Give us all the submittals that are on that list. And fill out that pre-authorization form. Get those done, we're ready to schedule. Of course, there's going to be some items that you can't do. So what do you do next? You call the area office. So we're down to A3. You negotiate with the area office what submittal lists you have, you can give to us right away, and what you cannot give to us because of whatever reason. And you give us a time frame when we can expect those to come. So then the contractor goes back up and develops a list of future submittals, which is box A4. And they submit the agreed upon submittals. You're following me this time much better, aren't you, Phil? Yeah. I'm much slower this time. I'm getting better at this. Whether I'm good or not, I'm just better. Then you go down to box D1. Let's go down to D1 next then, which is in the area office swim lane. We review the agreed upon submittals for the area office, and if everything is good, we'll notify the general contractor that we're ready for the pre-con. If everything is not good, if there's something that they're missing, some additional documentation were required, we go back up and we ask the contractor to revise that. That's box D2A. Is that right? See, I need glasses. And then we just go in that circle until we get everything we need. Meanwhile, back in the contractor's submittal list, can I go back up now to B1? The contractor is developing a document to manage the list of future submittals. When does he need to do that? When does he need to submit those items? What does he need to do to get those items to us in a timely manner? And then that goes on to B2, where he just manages that document, is what he does. He lets us know so it lets him know what he needs to get to us, when he needs to get to us by, so he can manage that document so we can get everything in. So we get all the documentation into our hands and approved prior to those items of work starting. Now, back in the contractors list, number D4. Now that we're ready for the pre-con meeting, the area office and the general contractor sit down and discuss the outline, which is DOT 271, the pre-construction meeting guidelines. At that point is where we start making changes to that outline, and we need to make changes to that. So we start discussing, Mr. Contractor, what do you want to talk about? We put those items down. Area office, what do you want to talk about? We put those items down. Is there a subcontractor that has items that they want to discuss? Let's put those items down. Suppliers, if there's something that the supplier needs to do, let's put those items down. Fill that out as completely as possible, because that allows us to prepare for that meeting so that we can develop answers to those possible problems we're going to have on project. It's a way for us to get out in front of potential problems and come up with solutions, so when something happens, we don't have to spend a week or even a day, which is very expensive in contractor time, to work out those possible solutions. So once we've got that outline done, what we'll do next is we'll prepare the area office down in D5. We'll prepare and send the meeting confirmation and the agenda items. And what we'll do is we'll send the meeting confirmation to the general contractor and the people that we normally send that to, which is the rest of our government agencies and the utilities. We'll send that out to them. Pre-con is at this time, please come. Contractor does the same thing for his suppliers and his subcontractors, just like we've done in the past. It's the exact same thing. Then we have the day of the pre-con meeting, which is D7. The contractor leads the meeting discussion. And one of the major reasons for this is we've had our questions answered. The things that we're required to do in our policy, we're done. We've got everything we need. So all we need to do now is to listen as to how the contractor is going to proceed with that project. What's he going to do? How is he going to do it? What does he need from us? When does he need it? Those type of questions, and several others that I'm not even thinking of right now. We will still prepare the minutes to the meeting, which is probably a great relief for you contractors. That's a 2, 3, 4, 5-page document that we prepare, and we'll write everything down as to how we discussed it. If there's any unresolved items, hopefully there isn't. If we do a good job at the meeting outline, there should be no unresolved issues. But if there are if something comes up that we didn't think of, we'll put those in that meeting outline or the minutes as well, and also hopefully a time frame where we get those things resolved. And then we'll distribute those minutes to all participants that have attended that meeting and to all the other stakeholders that are worried about that. Questions, comments? This is crystal clear. Great. The special provision, which is another document that you have on your desk, your table. Right now, what we're doing is we're going through the final revisions. We're going to have a meeting within the next a week to 10 days on some minor revisions to this document. Once we got this document cleaned up, ready to go, it needs to get approved. But we're trying to get this in as fast as possible. So we're going to get this cleaned up and have everybody take a look at it and get it approved. And once it's approved, it'll be in every set of plans. So at that time, this becomes a requirement. So it's not required right now. So any jobs that you have in your hand right now that are DOT related, what we're talking about today is not required. However, if you so choose and want to try it out, we're happy to do that. We would encourage that. Get your feet wet, start figuring this stuff out. We like that. And the area office are more than happy to help out with that as well. And right now, we've had every area engineer and every engineering supervisor attend this meeting, so they've heard the same thing, that we're ready to go. If you're ready to go, you want to try it out, we're ready to help you and try it out as well. Here today, we have, I think, how many? 6 area engineers. We have Gary Engel over there, Rhapsody. We have Doug Sherman. We have Rich Zocker, plus the other 3 of us, and we have our engineering supervisors here as well. So if you don't want to talk to me, though I don't know why, I'm a friendly guy, you can talk to anybody else you're friendly with, you want to talk to. Feel free. They've all been on board. They know what's going on. They have all the information that they need. So if you don't want to discuss it in front of the big group, you want to discuss it amongst one-on-one with one of the area engineers, feel free to do that. Or an engineering supervisor, feel free to do that. We want to get as much communication out there to you guys as possible. So hopefully sometime in May, this will be required for all projects. The required submittal list, that's also on your table. The one that you got is comprehensive. It has everything in it. Everything you could possibly think of, or everything that actually John Villebrandt could possibly think of, is in this document right now. So it may not be everything, but it's very, very darn close to everything. We don't see it up there yet. So, okay, now you see it up there. What this is a sample of is just a 1-page for an asphalt overlay project. This is 1 page. And what we got in your hand is like 5 pages. So what we'll do is we'll reduce these 5 pages down to what exactly that you need for that project for required submittals. So you'll know exactly what you need. And this will be prepared by the area engineer, or probably not the area engineer because he doesn't like to do any work. Somebody he'll assign to somebody else to do the work for him. They'll send it out to you in that packet of stuff so that you know what's required. Look it over. Start working on those required submittals. Now as you go through this, you'll see several things. In that second column it says, prior to scheduling pre-construction meeting, yes, no. So what that means is we want all this to us, if it says yes, prior to the pre-con meeting. So if you don't have this to us prior to the pre-con meeting, we're not having a pre-con meeting. And we'll wait until you've got it together. The second column, submitted before the start of related work. For instance, is there any on that first sheet? For instance, if you look at general, Haul Road Agreement DOT 245, we would like to get that done 2 weeks before the start of required work so we can get the signatures on that and all that other kind of stuff. So it gives you a time frame as to when we need it done. So if you're going to start hauling, back yourself up 2 weeks, we need to get that approved by that time. Let's go into the structures portion. That's so easy to do because everything's delayed there. And you can see the delay time in those. 30 days, 7 days, 2 weeks. So you have an idea as to when we need to get that stuff. So if you're a general contractor, prime contractor on a project, you got structure there, you can look at this and say, and for instance, you're a grading contractor that has a bridge on it, so you're the prime, you got someone else doing the bridge for you, you have no clue as to when these required submittals should be in. This gives you an idea right here. This is when we need to get this stuff submitted by. So subcontractor, let's get on this because you're under the gun right now. I need that bridge built so I can build my bridge berms coming up to it. No questions?
Mike?
Yes.
Does that include all the thing that's on our DOT 14 now, as far as certifications where the contractor's been not? Okay.
It doesn't include everything on, the question is, does it include everything that's on the DOT 14? It doesn't at this, it doesn't. It might include some things, but it includes, doesn't include any certifications at all?
The 14 is actually on the list. Last thing in the general.
The last thing on your general right there says the DOT 14 on it, so.
The prime contractor is going to be responsible to get all the subcontractors to submit every certification for the job.
And that's how it is right now. The question was, the prime contractor is responsible for the subcontractor to get all the certifications required for the job. And that's how it is right now, because our contract was with the prime. The DOT 270, which is the authorization form for pre-construction meeting. What we're asking the prime contractor to do is fill out this front page in its entirety. And then to initial every major part after you've read that major part. So number one, subcontract approval or required contract provisions. Read through that, initial it. So that shows to us that you've actually read through it. Once you get that done, that's the document you're going to return back to us along with your submittals. So we have it. If you want a copy of that, feel free to make a copy, put it in your project files. That's just fine. Then the DOT 271 is the pre-construction meeting itself. Now the area office will fill out much of this information before he sends it to you. Well, what will happen, you'll have this, you guys will discuss what items you want to put on there. The DOT will add the items you want on here. We'll add the items that they want on here. Hopefully we'll add some stuff the subcontractors want on here and the suppliers. We'll fill it out as much as we can, send it to you, and then we're good to go. Simple as that. Somebody asked at the prior meeting, back to the DOT 270, is if we can't give this to you guys in a Word document so you could just type the stuff in. We can't give it to you in a Word document because that allows you to make changes to it. So if you don't agree to something, you could just delete it and say, well, I didn't agree to that, I just got rid of it. So we can't have that happen. I know you're not going to do that anyway. We can't have that happen. But there's a writable PDF. Is that what it was? A writable PDF. So I've never heard that before. We'll work on that. We'll try to get you a writable PDF. And what that's going to allow you to do is just to write in the blanks the stuff you want. And I think we can probably accomplish that part. Something brand new we never heard of before, but we'll try to get that working for you. Then the meeting itself. Now that we've done all the prep work, we're ready for the meeting. So at the discretion of the area engineer, we can have this meeting face-to-face. We can have this meeting video conference. We have 12 video conference sites throughout the state at each area office. So someone from Sioux Falls wants to talk to somebody from Mobridge but doesn't want to drive up there, they both can get on a video conference, one in Sioux Falls area office and one in the Mobridge area office. They can have a meeting. Or you could get your owner to come to the meeting, and then if your project superintendent needs to be on that site but he can spare a couple hours, you can get him to a video conference site somewhere. So he can be a part of that meeting. He can hear that discussion. He can address his concerns. It's a very good idea to get your guys there. Or we can do it by telephone conference. If we have a crack seal job that takes 5 minutes to do the pre-con meeting, we can do that by telephone or video conference very easily. So it saves you guys time and effort to drive from one end of the state to the other to accomplish these meetings. But we'd like to have all the key players participate in the meetings. And again, the contractor will drive the meetings. And we'll always get to the favorite slide right here. This was much faster than last time even, I think, probably. Any questions for me?